Hello everybody, this is Silverbusters coming at you with another video on this wonderful July 4th, American Independence Day. Hope wherever you're at, you're doing well. And just coming at you a video with sort of a update. This is a good day to reflect on just being a contrarian in general, because when the American Revolution took place, they were the underdogs. They were kind of ridiculed and mocked and belittled the same way a lot of people within the alternative media and the precious metals investing sector, even the crypto sector, are treated. That is, in my opinion, today's underdogs, the ones that are labeled as conspiracy theorists and fear mongers and all of those things. There's a sort of a loose association of ideas of people that are put in that sort of category. And like it or not, we're in it concerning the, at least as far as the establishment and the legacy media is concerned. But silver has had a tremendous run. And I remember for the longest time, silver was languishing around, and then you would get these spikes down into the $12 or $13 range. And, people would just start losing heart at a certain point. This was prior to the whole COVID situation. And people would get online saying, you know what? We can survive this, we can get through this is a buying opportunity. But it was such a long period of time, it was difficult to see what the other side exactly was going to be like. And of course, we've had this massive run, but this run is on the back of that downward spike towards $12 again back in March of 2020. And since then, we've seen inflation really become a mainstream idea. Just to give you an idea, in my business, I would say we're about 25 to 35% above seasonal pricing for the industry that I'm in. And I don't want to, it's related to housing, but it's not housing. But I witness it myself day to day. We are almost completely out of inventory. For the first time in 4 years, we're going to increase prices on our smaller retail product. And that's, unusual, but given the circumstances, I guess it's not that unusual to see prices going up. And then you had kind of more fake doctored inflation data coming out of the government, with Joe Biden trying to celebrate the fact that his massage data for a 4th of July cookout is 16 cents cheaper than it was, prior years. And it's all ridiculous. When you get on and see the data, especially on the Wall Street Silver Board, silver is coming off of the COMEX, is coming out of these vaults run by the LBMA, the SLV kind of category. All these places where they say, oh, there's plenty of silver available, there's plenty of silver available. Well, at $26, which is what we currently sit at, and which is, don't forget, that's a lot of progress. I mean, that's basically up more than double from the low in March of 2020. And, there's a lot of period of time in that 2011 downward kind of period of time that the price was flirting in the teens all the time, the low teens. So it's not in a horrible spot, and it's got a tremendous amount of potential, because when I go around looking, like right now, what else would you want to invest in besides silver? I mean, gold is probably a good idea, but it's had more of a run than silver has, to be perfectly honest. It's already at its near, or had been near, its old all-time highs, and silver is nowhere near that. Silver hasn't even begun its run up towards 50, but the way silver works, it can occur in a blink of an eye. Most of silver's moves, when you finally get a breakout, are extremely fast. And if you're not already positioned, you're likely to miss any kind of run up in the silver price, unless you're already there ahead of time. And I know it's rough with finding the product and then finding the product at a decent premium over spot price. But if you do the work, if you get started early, I think we're going to see tremendous upside in this, because fundamentally nothing has changed. You know, the government is still running tremendous deficits. There's the new infrastructure bill, which is going to pile on, you know, some added trillions of funding to go to, you know, pork belly contracts for contractors. You know, whether your local roads actually get any sort of benefit or not from it is kind of a shot in the dark when it comes to the reliability of the government. So all of this is still ongoing, and we have that piled on top of the whole Basel III situation. And I know we didn't see an immediate move in the Basel III situation, and there's a lot of speculation of what is the purpose of the Basel III Accords. And there's the line of thought that makes the most sense to me that's coming out of the silver community is that the goal was to remove the center of gold and silver trading from London. And if that's the actual intended purpose of it, then the latest date that we have, for the last date we passed here at the end of June, isn't really the big date we should be looking for, because the LBMA, which is in the UK, that's not going to take effect yet. I don't have the exact date right now. I don't know if it's 6 months from now or a year from now, but that's going to be the period of time before those major banks and vaults in the LBMA in the UK are affected by this Basel III situation, which basically makes it unprofitable for banks to hold unallocated silver products. And that's what a lot of people are sort of foolishly in. They are in these unsourced products that you're not likely to get a hold of in a crisis, and that dilutes the demand for gold and silver. And whenever that happens, you know, if you have more supply, whether it's synthetic supply or real supply, it's going to put a cap on the price in the markets. So we may be on hold for another 6 months for that. But the whole idea is that China and Russia and other players who are tired of the abuse of the existing dollar standard are seeing ways that they want to get more free trading for the gold and silver price. You know, if they're going to go to it for most of their reserves, if they're going to dump dollars for their reserves like they have been doing for a period of time, they don't want to see their gold and silver reserves just manipulated freely on the Western markets the way they currently are now. So I wouldn't let the passage of that current date for Basel III discourage you any. If anything, the recent move down that we had from 28 kind of region down to 26, and, you know, I guess 25 and change now, is really just an excellent buying opportunity. You know, we've had that run up, and the downside for silver just seems really limited. It's like some people are saying, yeah, there could be a downside to 22, but remember, when we see these downward spikes, how long does it stay down there? Unless you are really fast on your money, then it's gone right back up. It recovers so quickly. I mean, look at the 2020 March situation. It didn't stay down there in the $11 or $12 range very long, and you really couldn't get physical for that price. You could. I got lucky and found some for 15, but most places were 17 or 18 for something like what I'm showing you here now, some generic 1 ounce rounds. These are Silvertown 1 ounce rounds, and they're really pretty. I like this eagle. Honestly, this eagle seems to have even more detail on it than the US silver eagles do. And on the other side, it's got a one of the classic depictions of liberty on it. And I just think these are probably the best out of the batch that I got. I bought on that down spike day to 26, and just my favorite out of the set I got. They're really beautiful. So I just want to take this Independence Day to tell people, don't lose heart. Keep on trucking, doing whatever you're doing. Look for opportunities. There's a lot of areas where if you are aware and motivated, you can make money, prepare yourself, and store wealth and make progress in your life, because just the amount of people who were taken out of the system, who were by this whole COVID situation, who lost their jobs or had their businesses shut down. There is, if not actual demand, but pent up mental frustration in these people who want to get back to work and want to get things done. And I think that's part of the inflation story too, that we're going to see everyone want to get back to some kind of normal. And of course, we're not going to get back to exactly the way things used to be. Things are going to change, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be exactly what the deep state and the power elite and the Davos crowd want, right? They're going to get pushback on this stuff. The Great Reset stuff isn't going to go exactly their way. And if you are buying physical silver, just remember, I've heard the numbers thrown around, that I don't have it on me right now, but it's something ridiculous. It's something like less than 100 ounces of silver will put you in the top 1% of silver holders. And if you see this move to the proper gold silver ratio, and you see gold move to something that would actually cover the outstanding amount of dollars, like happened in 1980, in my opinion, the reason why the gold price capped in 1980 is that gold and silver reached a natural equilibrium, close to their 15 to 20 to 1 kind of price ratio between each other, the gold silver ratio. And the gold price at that level in 1980 at $800 an ounce was capable of covering 100% of all the outstanding US dollars in circulation at the time. So if we see something similar like that, those two things together again, which could happen, because it oscillates. It oscillates kind of between 10 to 1 and 1 to 1. And 10 to 1 being, we completely trust the US dollar. We're going to extend them 10 times as much leeway with the dollar as their gold reserves. Versus 1 to 1 being, we don't trust you at all. And we may get back to that. We may get back to that ratio. And so I just want to throw that out there. And it can happen fast. It can happen quick. There could be some kind of meeting. There can be some kind of spark. And it just goes quickly. So I hope you guys are having some kind of enjoyment today. I'm going to go back to watching baseball. And for now, you guys have a great 4th of July, and I hope to see you in the next video.